Cool. So with Craig Spider Richards, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
All good. And so how did you get the name Spider? You've probably been asked this question a lot. How did that come about?
What happened is, Pete had me sparring, and sparring partners kept saying, I can't see where his hands are coming from. I'm getting hit from everywhere. And Pete was like, that's why we call him Spider. He's got more than 2 arms. And then we went from there.
Sick. Sounds got a ring to it.
Yeah.
And so I just caught you after training. Yeah, how was the workout?
It was very good. 3rd session done now today. Got 1 more session, probably 3 more hours later this evening, and then I'll be finished for the day, ready for sparring in the morning.
And you're building towards the white-brown card, aren't you?
Yeah.
Do you know who your opponent is on that card?
Not sure. I've been told I'm doing an 8-rounder on the 24th of March at the O2 on the Dillian White Lucas Brown card. That's all I know so far. Sit down with my manager next week, and then he'll go through all further details with me.
What's that like, not knowing who you're sort of preparing for? Does that have an impact, or are you just sort of in...
Not really. I just get myself into the best preparation I can and get myself prepared. And then any adjustments I need when I find the opponent out, then we can work through that. At the moment, just getting myself fit, strong, sharp, and mentally prepared. Leaving no stones unturned for now. So that's what it's about for me, focusing on myself. I don't really even watch opponents anyway. I'd rather leave that to the management, because he's got a good eye for it. He'll see it and he'll tell me what I need to do, what their qualities are, and what I need to do to counteract that. So I'll leave that side to him, and I focus on my training.
Cool, that makes sense. And so last time out, it's against Frank Buglioni.
Yeah.
You took the fight on, I think it was 5 days notice.
5 days notice, yeah.
Do you have any sort of, not regrets, but would you have done that? Would you do that again? Would you have taken the fight at that such short notice again?
Yeah, I would, because the thing for me, I didn't know what it's like to do 12 rounds. Good experience, as you know, like as most people know, I've never shied away from fights, and I'm not scared to take risks. A lot of prospects, when they're unbeaten, they like to try to pad their record. When you go through my record and you look at every fight I took every fight early. Even when I won my Southern area, I was only 7 fights. Done 1 6-rounder. He was 12-0, 6 knockouts. He's done 4 10-rounders. It was a big jump for me to take that risk, but I wanted to fight. I called for it. I could have waited for him to vacate and fought someone else, but I didn't want to. I wanted to challenge myself. Every fight I've taken has been a challenge. I've taken it before my time.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think you won a lot of respect, not only for taking that, but the manner of the fight as well, because you definitely troubled Buglioni as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah, what was the feedback in camp after that fight? Was it more of a positive outlook after it? Like, obviously, you must have been disappointed not to have won, but was it after the dust settled? Did you find it a positive experience?
Well, it gave people to see little snippets of my skill sets and what I'm capable of, although it was nowhere near obviously me at my optimum. Coming up in the weight, I was only light at the weight. Now I've grown into the weight. I wasn't grown into the weight then. I was really light on the fight day. Obviously didn't prepare. 2 days training. Just got off the plane the Sunday night. Got told about the fight. Come to the gym, train quick 2 days. And had to go off to Cardiff to do the public workout, press conference and everything. So 2 days to train for your first 12 round. It weren't the best preparation. Most people would probably expect you to come up short, get stopped because you're not fit, etc. I've done the 12. My opinion, when I watched it, won about 1 to 4, come off the gas from 5 to 11, 1-12. It was more of a mental thing, but I've broke that mental barrier now, and now I know what it takes to win at that level of 12 rounders. And I know if I had maybe 2-3 weeks, I think I could have come out victorious.
So are you sticking around at light heavy? Because obviously you were super middleweight, weren't you? Before?
Yeah.
Is that your weight now?
That's my weight. When I look at it in super middleweights, in the bigger picture, domestically there is no big fights for me until I got to world level, because after 7 fights and knocking on the door for a lot of people couldn't get the fights. When we looked at the rankings below British level, behind I think Fielden, that was actually Alan Higgins. He was the highest ranked domestic fighter. On my 6th fight, I then asked for that fight. I couldn't get a fight. Then I eventually got it for my 7th fight. So after beating him, and he wasn't a big name, he was the highest ranked domestic fighter, but big money fights and big shows is when you get 2 good names people know of. No one really knew of him until he had fought me. So I'd really kind of achieved domestically what I needed to do. So after that I was waiting to bang on the door for maybe a big name. Couldn't get a big name, so you know how it works, got to wait for mandatories, etc. But then it becomes difficult. So when the opportunity arose at like heavyweight Frank Buglioni, I said to myself, wow, I don't mind rolling the dice. I know it's 5 days is a big ask, but you never know in this game. You got to take the opportunity to grab him with two hands. If you come up short, you bounce back and you go again. So I don't have no regrets. I thought about it when I sat down and thought about the fight. I thought, if you win this would be perfect. And if you lost, how would you feel? And I thought, you know what, you'll bounce back, you need to get on 5 days notice. It was one of them things that I took into account, the winning possibility and the loss possibility. Although I was going in my mind clearly saying, I don't want to take the fight unless I believe I'm going to win this. And I believed I could, although I know the preparation was short. So
you were quite busy last year. How do you rate the year in its totality? Were you quite happy with the progress you'd made in 2017?
When I look back on paper, yeah, it was great because I beat the Southern Area champion, I beat the Portuguese champion. I went and travelled to go Belfast, I boxed in the SSC Arena, got the stoppage. Then obviously I went and took the British title, so I boxed all champions last year. It was a rocky path for me because when I boxed Higgins, I was actually ill. When I boxed the Portuguese champion, I was ill. Belfast was my first fight when I decided not to try to make the 12 stone limit, that I actually was okay. And then obviously the Buglioni one was took it short notice, so it was good in progress for me on paper, but it's also a thing where I believe that because of what was going on behind the scenes, that the boxing game still ain't seen the best of me, which is good because I think 2018 will be more of a shock for everyone when they see more of my capabilities.
I was going to say, what are your, so say if we were chatting this time next year, do you have any sort of set in stone goals for 2018? I want to win a British title, or I want to be X amount in the rankings. Have you got any goals sort of set aside for this year? Not
rankings wise, because all that every governing board's different. All that that doesn't mean anything, to be fair. When you look at it, I do want some titles this year. Not sure which ones yet. As I say, things move around all the time. So I think I'll just take out this 24 fight and then look what's next. Obviously, it'd be nice for it to get maybe a British title shot again, although because I only got it on a 5 days notice. But for me right now, one step at a time. Come out 24th, hopefully display a good performance, and then maybe we can start looking at titles and look and see what's next. Sit down at the table and say what we got next and what's my options.
You fought on, as you just mentioned, you fought a lot of champions and you fought on quite big stages in terms of the arenas. How's that sort of, that must, say in about 5 fights time when you're sort of potentially headlining these things, surely this will put you in good stead for that. So getting that experience of that big atmosphere, how's that been? It's
been great because when you look at my career overall, I've had snippets of each part. So it's I started off in the York Hall Matchroom shows, 2 of them. Then I went to the Copper Box Arena, so that was my first step up. Then Eddie had given me and O'Hara Davis a show for just us two boxing on the Anthony Joshua public workout. That was my first actual Sky viewing I got to box on, so it was a lot of pressure, just me and him boxing on it. So that was my first kind of experience. I went out there, done the job in 1 round. Then he put me on the Golovkin Kell Brook card in the O2 Arena. Then it was okay, now we're on the big stage. Then done a good job then. Then I'd boxed Adam Jones after that. I think that was another unbeaten show on York Hall, but then I moved on to Wembley Arena, so it was another stage, big stage, Wembley Arena from O2, and then I got to headline at York Hall, from being on first on my debut to headlining on live on Sky Sports 1 against Higgins for the Southern Area title. It was different because when you're on the undercard, you come out, the lights are all on. You come out the main events, the lights go dark. You see someone like Joshua or Kell Brook or Golovkin, that's when the arena's set. So for me, it was a weird experience. I came out, the lights had gone dark, everything's swinging. I'm oh wow, it's real. I'm headlining Sky Sports. So that was my first experience of now headlining the show, not necessarily in a big arena, headlining the show. Then going on to boxing O2 Arena again, boxing in Belfast Arena, then to get put on Sky Sports box office in an 80,000 seated arena, but I was probably boxing in front of about 50,000 when I boxed Buglioni on a big stage in Cardiff Arena on Sky Sports box office. So then I've had another snippet of what it's like to box in front of a big crowd. Although I'm not the main event, I'm one of the main events on the card. So I've had little snippets. I've been a main event on the small show, I've been on big arenas, I've now been in the big arenas. and being one of the main guys, not even head it. So I think this will set me up in good stead for eventually I could be there and actually headline a show like that.
Cool. And another big stadium coming up back in at the O2 for White. And what are your, like, I know you don't know your opponent, but would you be happy? Are you happy just to take the win, or are you looking to sort of go? Are you looking to get rounds under your belt, or?
I think I'm more looking to show my potential, whether it's putting a good display round by round or whether it's a good stoppage. Either way, I want to make sure that boxing knows I've arrived.
Cool. So yeah, best of luck for then, and yeah, thanks a lot for your time.
No problem.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for your time.